Hello, I hope you have had a lovely start to the year so far. I'm back with not so much of a house update. I'm a little bit disappointed with myself, I must admit. The boxes are just accumulating more and more around me. But the last couple of weeks, I have prioritised getting back into work, making sure clients are set, and saying yes to brunch and coffee in my free time with friends rather than building furniture. And I must admit, it's felt quite nice to take a bit of a softer approach to the last couple of weekends because I hadn't had a free weekend to just see friends and catch up in quite a while on the lead up to Christmas. So I am determined to get on with a house update and furniture building over the next week, and we can commence with those updates. But today, what I wanted to do is talk you through the phase that I'm currently in and what I'm going to be working towards over these next 8 weeks or so, and then the plan beyond that. So for those who haven't been following along, long story short, I had a really tough few months towards the end of last year, and I had never really experienced anxiety or feeling low for that period of time. I felt like I was in the gutter. I was in a building phase to be building lean muscle mass, gaining strength, and I did that for the majority of last year, but I hit a wall. The reason I hit a wall is because I was just continuously feeling quite sick. You know, that horrible anxious feeling you get in your gut. That's how I was feeling for, to be honest with you, months on end. And a little bit TMI, but it was getting to the point where I actually wasn't keeping food down because of how anxious I was feeling. Like I said, I've never experienced that before. It was not a very great time, but I am in my healing stage, in my healing era. Everything feels like it is coming together bit by bit again. Over on my Instagram, I'm actually sharing tips on what I did to move out of my sad girl era into my sassy, thriving girl era again. So feel free to go and check those out. So because I had got to the point where my appetite had completely dropped, I'd hit a wall with it. I went into this year with a plan, spoke through everything with my coach, and we basically agreed to go through an appetite reset. Now, this is essentially dropping calories. So I'm going to be in a calorie deficit for around 6 to 8 weeks. Now, the purpose of this phase isn't necessarily because I feel like I want to go into a cut phase or anything like that. It's purely to build my appetite back up because it was getting to the point where some days I literally couldn't eat anything after breakfast, and it was impacting my training, my energy levels, my cognitive function. It was impacting which it absolutely will. Food is our fuel, and when I'm so used to fueling my body and training hard, it was throwing me completely out of whack, and I could tell that my hormones were starting to be thrown off as well. So I have stripped it back and we have dropped calories, and I'm someone who likes to go into a phase and give in my absolute all, and I don't like wasting time. Now, everyone's approach is going to be slightly different. I have clients who prefer working towards a cut phase in a gradual manner if they've got lots of social events coming up and holidays. Absolutely fine. Personally, when I want to go through a set phase, I like getting into it and I like getting out of it because I love gaining strength, feeling strong, feeling full, and that for me happens when I'm eating a little bit more in a slight surplus and building muscle. So these next 6 to 8 weeks, calories I'd imagine potentially will continue to drop depending how my body responds, but I am literally a week in, I want to say, at this point, and already me and my coach are noticing some pretty big differences. I'm feeling hungry, I haven't felt anxious, and again, that's because I have started to work through things and I'm feeling a lot less stressed in all aspects of my life. A big part of that is probably to do with the fact that over Christmas, first time since I've been self-employed in about 5 years, I took 10 days off. I took 10 days off work. Everyone needs a mental reset and a physical reset from time to time. And it just proved how much I needed it because I came into January just feeling a lot lighter and a lot more ready to focus on the things that I wanted to focus on. So that was a big part of why my stress reduced. And of course, just focusing on the things that make me feel good. So because my stress is reduced, my body is responding really well. It wasn't responding all that well towards the end of last year, which your body is never going to when you are in a stressed state. It's never going to respond to the best ability when you're in a stressed state. It goes without saying. So my routine is in a really good place right now, and I'm starting to feel like me again, which is really exciting. So over the next 6 to 8 weeks, I want to give you some little snippets into how it's going. I'm probably going to document it weekly over on my Instagram, but what I'm going to do is show you where I'm at this moment, because it's actually my check check-in day. So I've taken some videos, so I'm just going to pop those across here now. Then what I'll do is compare those to like the end of this phase that I'm in. Now, after this is done, it could be 6 weeks, it could be 8 weeks, it's depending on how I feel and how much my appetite picks back up and how well I do respond to it all. After that, we're going to go through a reverse diet to build calories back up and get me feeling strong and hench again. I'm excited for it. Now, if anyone has any questions at all about this, please feel free to drop me a message and I will be more than happy to talk about the different options for you as well. If you're looking to go through a set phase or you're wondering on how best to achieve your goals over these upcoming months, I always find it so important going into a new year with a plan in place. And because if you're going into it without a plan, chances are you're gonna be like winging it, and you'll get a few months down the line and you'll realize, oh, I'm kind of not where I expected to be. Like, as humans, we thrive off having like routine and having a plan and having goals set. So feel free to always pop me a message. But yeah, as of today, unfortunately, no house updates. But stay tuned because they will be coming. And I'll also continue to update on how everything goes with the phase that I'm in and what I'm going to be doing during this phase, because my calories have dropped quite drastically. I'm focusing on lots of whole foods and lots of high volume foods. So high protein and making sure that each meal has plenty of fruit, plenty of veg. Those are your high volume foods that are going to keep you feeling fuller for longer, and also keeping myself hydrated. Hydrate. Now, when you go to the gym, a lot of people assume, oh my gosh, in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose strength. It shouldn't really happen that quickly. Maybe towards the end of a cut phase, when you've been in it for quite some time, yes, your body's going to start showing signs of fatigue, like less energy going in. You're obviously going to have less energy to expend at some point, but you shouldn't start to feel less strong or less driven within the first couple of weeks of a cut phase. So I'm still going to the gym and pushing myself just as much in comparison to if I was eating more food and if I was in a building phase. And what I might do is film one of my sessions over these upcoming weeks, just so you can see like the intensity of the session and the way that I am training at the moment and my split, etc. I can talk about that at a later date. I will catch up with you next week, and as I said, please don't hesitate to message me if you do ever have any questions. I hope you are having a lovely day, and I'll chat to you soon. Bye.